Neeraj to find out how exactly today the closing is panning out. And Neeraj, suffice to say, not good at all. We've breached a lot of key levels today, closing below the mark of 200 DMA for Nifty.
Yeah, and sub 10,100 as well. So yeah, a lot of key levels, recent lows, 200-day moving average, 10,100, call you whatever, and 32,916 or thereabouts. So 260 points down for the Sensex as well. The Nifty Bank down about 1%. And the mid caps and the small caps have actually had a worse fate today. Deep gashes out there, which is why the market breadth has looked terrible. I guess a couple of percentage points apiece. The mid cap and the small cap indices will come up on your screen. A couple of points apiece. The small caps in particular, 2.25% down in trade. This index was up about 0.5% at the start of the trading day today. So that's almost a 3% gash in the index today. What about specific stocks? Hardly any gainers. Don't even look at that. I mean, Maruti and L&T, not really inspiring moves. But look at the losers. Tata Steel, Bharti, HCL Tech doesn't feature in the Sensex, but it's down. Wipro, Coal India, banks in particular. But if you just look at the top 10 losers, then an Infosys being there, but the HDFC twins are not there, ITC is not there, Reliance is not there. Somewhere out here, all of these names. So no deep gashes. It just shows that we are falling because a clutch of large caps are falling anywhere between 2% to 3%. And a large number of these names are falling apart, which is actually not a good sign. But suffice to say, Navneet, that the activity in the broader markets is even worse.
That's right, Neeraj. We did see a lot of cuts coming about for a lot of stocks, and as you highlighted already for the broader market indices. But let me start off with JBF Industries. That counter was weak, I guess, for majority of the session, and it closed with a lower circuit with cuts of nearly 20% around the mark of 113. The other one, which was in focus, was TV Today. Remember last week or in the last 5 to 6 trading sessions, we did see sudden surge in this counter coming about. But today, the news finally came out that they sold their 3 radio stations to ENIL. So probably some profit booking post the news, but counter closing with cuts of nearly 11%. An outperformer of last week, Future Market Network. This counter was up nearly 60% in last week, and today finally there was some profit booking. The stock closing at a lower circuit with cuts of nearly 10%. In the last hour or last half an hour of trade, we did see IDBI Bank coming under pressure. That chart will show you a clear picture. The fall came in just in the last half an hour or so, 8% lower for IDBI Bank. And among the PSU banking lot, you also had Bank of Baroda, which did see a fresh short position coming about on the future side for this counter as well. But the metal stocks have been under pressure from the likes of NMDC, Steel Authority, which was in the ban period for today's trade. Both of them saw cuts of between 5 to 6%. And MCX, which gained last week, gave up all its losses in today's session, closing the day with cuts of 4 to 5%. Just want to highlight few gainers. Uttam Sugar rose in last hour of trade. So this is one sugar company actually which has been bucking the trend, where the entire space trades with cuts. Uttam Sugar was up nearly 5.5%. Shilpa Medicare, stocks like Techno Electric, and graphite makers like HEG. These are the counters where mild bit of outperformance was seen in a weak market like today's.
So this is what the markets are doing at close. 10 seconds left for the markets to close, and we all know that it's been a terrible performance, more so from the broader markets, but the large caps have not been devoid of pain. This is the final picture at close. We're closing down almost 1%, 100 points for the Nifty, and the broader markets too have had a lot of pain. The market breadth will come up on your screen for a minute. We'll also get in the top contributors list. Look at that. It stayed steady, so about 1:7 in favor of the decline, so no changes there. A yawning gap which only stayed steady in the last 4 hours of trade or 3 hours of trade. The contributors list in technology getting clobbered today with Infosys and HCL Tech out there. TCS was probably the sole gainer, but banks, ICICI Bank and HDFC have contributed a little bit as well. No sign of HDFC Bank, no sign of Reliance Industries, no sign of ITC. And the gainers list, well, hardly any names to talk about. The turnover should be interesting. Let's see if the cash market turnover is inched up. No, not really. Turnover is actually suboptimal, at least on the cash market.
It has come off. I think the last 2 days it was up. One because of the TCS block deal, and even on Friday, I guess the turnover was pretty much on the high side. But this is lower in the last at least 4 to 5 days that we've seen.
Yeah, does it provide solace though? I don't know. But the NSE F&O turnover, I would guess, maybe
just
par
about,
for the course. Yeah, just about going okay. It just seems to have damaged some key levels today's move, and with the global markets not providing support, it's difficult to see what will cause a bounce back, if any, in the immediate term.
That's right, Neeraj. In fact, if global markets don't give you that support, we've as it has been underperforming. You know what? You look at any of the key benchmark indices which are tracked globally, be it MSCI World, S&P 500, MSCI Europe, all of them have given you positive returns for this year at least. And we're down, MSCI India is down nearly 5%. So that speaks volume why there is underperformance despite of some recovery which we actually saw for global markets, but that's not come in for India.